Hello to my beautiful family of light, you courageous and wonderful souls on the earth with me at this time. Thank you for joining me here today. My name is Claudia, and if you don't know that we're family, stick with me for a while. You'll know soon enough. I want to welcome you to my channel, and I'm doing a series of videos as an ordinary person, just like you. We all are here with our particular journey upon the earth as humans to move ourselves closer to our Creator. That's our job, to learn how to love unconditionally, how to be at peace and not war, how to be harmonious and have a wonderful life. Well, okay, so it's easier said than it is done, isn't it? So my work here is to show you through the life of this ordinary person. I'm in my 70s now, and where I'm starting today is at age 39, as someone who has had the guidance to change directions in my life. And you know me, I've told the story of coming to the stop sign, not being able to see what's in front of you, and making a choice. Just, it's go left, go right, straight ahead, or you can stay, looking at whatever you've come from. You can go back to that if you want. At this juncture in my life, I chose to move forward and move on. So in the last video, I'm making the journey from my old home, crossing 3-4 states to get to where is going to become my new home. And so that's where we're going to pick it up today. In that last video, I was coming down. I had crested Skull Creek Pass. And Skull Creek Pass is the last place that you have to cross to go into the town I was going to, Cody, Wyoming. And off in the distance I could see lights. I had quite an overwhelming experience that caused me to have to pull off to the side of the road, allow the feelings and emotions that were just like waves crashing on the beach, rocking the logs, tumbling everything about. It was just a remarkable experience, and I couldn't figure out a reason for it. Okay, we've covered that. Let's move into me now going into town to start a new life. Off in the distance is what I see as lights, and I knew that had to be the town that I was approaching. It was only, I figured, 10 miles away from where I was. It was coming down off of the pass, and I was going to be settling in what I did come to know as high desert. So right around 5,000 feet, a little bit more. I could see as I got closer, it was really desert-like, with lots of sage, small grasses. It's September, so everything is brown and dry. Kind of ugly from my perspective. It was not, I didn't think of it as ugly at the time. My mother used to just absolutely love the desert, and this is the high desert. But it's quite dry climate, and there's all these arid plants that are growing, and I also come upon some speckled animals that have prongs, and as I approached and got to see them closer, I figured it was antelope, and came to know that was right. So that was my first experience with that. While I'm approaching town and getting closer, I'm seeing all kinds of building stacks. I see buildings kind of popping up out of trees on a long strip along a bank, and so I know there's a big crevice or something I've got to cross to get to the other side. I could see town, and it was a long strip. And so I I made that journey, got into a place where I had to decide whether to go left or right, and I knew town was to the right, so I just did that. I got in, I drove slowly down the main street, and it was very wide. I was surprised. It's 2 lanes in each direction plus center turn lane, and I came to understand that that was because in the old days before it was paved, they drove cattle through town and the streets had to be wide. So if you can imagine an old saloon with the wooden walkways and stairs and the swinging doors, they had all that. And so it was very Western, that's for sure. And my first encounter with anything that I didn't see that was Western, that I hadn't seen on the movies or Gunsmoke, or I don't even know what some of those things were that I saw from the past. But it was quite different because now cars are the theme, right? There's automobiles and modern buildings and gift shops. I mean, this is obviously a tourist town. It's the last town before you go into Yellowstone Park through the east entrance, which is 50 miles up the road. So I drive from one end of the town, headed to the west first. I did not go in. There's a canyon and a big dam and a reservoir. I did not know what was up there. I just went to the end of the town and kind of came back around, driving slowly, just looking at what's there, noting just all the services. There's lots of motels and hotels, lots of places to eat. There's music coming out. I mean, this is a holiday weekend, right? Labor Day weekend. And so it's warm and I'm able to roll my window down and I drive back through town. And when you come to the east end of it, now you can go to the left and follow a highway that goes out another direction. But I follow the road and it goes up a hill. And at the top of the hill, I pass several services and a motel up there and realize I'm at the end of the town at this point. And so I make my way back around and stop alongside that motel. And the woman inside had no rooms. They catered to contract workers and whatnot. So anytime a job was being done and that had been contracted from outside folks, then she seemed to be the place to go, at least one of them, and she was full. And I just, so I said, would it be okay if I leave? Now I'd parked on the street kind of behind the building. I said, I'm going to leave my stuff here and just go see what I can find. Well, I came back an hour later or so, and there were no rooms. I mean, it's a holiday weekend. I don't know what I was thinking, right? Well, she took pity on me, and she said, give me a few minutes. So she went off to do something, and when she came back, she had rearranged a couple of fellas and was able to get a room. It needed to be cleaned, and there was across the way another little hotel and a restaurant. So I went over there and had a bite to eat while she took care of getting a room set up for me for, a few days or more, whatever we needed to do. So that's how it started. I drove into town. I got in there about 4:30, and it's now about 6:30, and I'm being taken care of. I've never met so many people. It's going to get better and better, who are more accommodating and willing to take an extra step on your behalf. I guess I must have looked friendly. I know I was happy as a clam at high tide, even though it was the desert. But so I came back and began the process. I took some plants out to put in the room because they needed to see some daylight hours. And I don't have the best green thumb. So anyhow, that's how it started for me. The next day, that was the Saturday that no, it was Sunday that I arrived. The next day was Labor Day. And of course, everything's closed down. But that didn't stop me. I unhooked the car and was able to use it to go. I found a place that had blueberry pancakes. Oh, I know what it was. The motel lady had all kinds of maps and stuff, and she gave me all kinds of tips. So I went to this place and had blueberry pancakes, a cup of coffee, and some juice. And right across the street was the Chamber of Commerce. And because it was their last day of the holiday, they were open, and they had information for me, of course, on moving there, what the services were, what housing and rentals and all of that, where the services were located so you can get things hooked up, all that sort of thing. And maps, maps and lots of chatter. And of course, I'm still flying high as a kite, even though I'm dragging a little bit because, you can only go on adrenaline for so long, and then the body says, I need rest, but it wasn't at that point just yet. Well, Tuesday came along, and I did some more, looking. I went, because I now had rental locations, I went looking, and I was really disheartened because they were so, obviously the town was quite old, but the rentals, many of them were real old. They did not appear to be well taken care of. Even so, tumbleweeds can be picked up and readjusted. Well, I wasn't judging anything. I was just noticing what I thought I might be comfortable in. And so I didn't find very many that I thought would be suitable. But I did make lots and lots of phone calls and sort of narrow down what the prospects might be from those phone calls. Well, Wednesday was a matter of me picking up the local paper, and in that paper there was an ad for a small house that was in my price range to rent. And so I called. And that morning, within a couple of hours, I had secured that house. And the owner had been, I don't know, you have to wonder sometimes, how is it that all these things come about and it seems like so effortlessly, so smoothly? But she and I got along great. And so I had secured the rental. She arranged for 2 high school boys to come in after school on Friday to unload me. And well, not after. Let's see, I can't remember if they had started school or not. She just had arranged for a couple of boys to come in that were high school age. I don't recall the specifics of it, but that was Friday. So I was able to get the keys from her on Wednesday. Thursday, I began moving some things in, the things that I could lift and do. And in the process of that coming out to the truck I was unloading, the neighbor lady to the west of me came out and greeted me and introduced herself and let me know that she had 7 children. 2 of them were high school boys, and so she promised that they would come over and give me a hand when they were done with whatever it was they were doing that day, and I'm pretty sure school must have started. So anyhow, now I have friends already, and one of the gals who was a high school, she was she might have been the end of junior high, moving into high school in a year. And she came over and introduced herself, and we ended up becoming very good friends, that little gal and I. She helped me with a lot of things. Okay, things are going so nicely. By Saturday afternoon, with the boys' help, with other help that day. There wasn't anything I had that I couldn't manage, but I did need a couch and, a couple of tables and lamps and stuff. But I had a little kitchen table and a couple chairs and my bed. So I had everything I needed for now. Anyhow, that's how it started. I began the rest of that week getting everything hooked up, taking little short drives, one of them up the canyon along the Shoshone, North Fork of the Shoshone River. And when you stay on that, you end up just 5 miles from the east gate to Yellowstone. And it was still early enough in the season. I was hoping I'd have an opportunity to be able to do that. One of the days in there, I went in to have my car, what was that, serviced, I think, and got to talking with the mechanic, and he said, well, do you have a engine heater? And I said, I don't even know what that is. I said, the average temperature in the winter where I come from in the Pacific Northwest is 42 is low. We barely even had snow. He said, well, if you don't have one, he said, when the temperatures get low, and they will get low, he said, you're going to need something to have the engine warmed up so that you can start your car. So for $6, he put it in right then and there, and the rest is history. I was so grateful come the end of December when the temperature dropped to 35 below, but that's another story. Life just gets better. As I settle in and get things taken care of, that first week, my son called, and we had been in touch, but he had started school, and he wanted to complain that his dad had not taken him to band practice. And I listened, and I said, well, son, did your dad take you last year? And he said, no. And I said, well, did he take you the year before? And he said, no. And I said, well, sweetheart, I said, the things that are important to your dad are math and science and sports. I said, if you want to keep up with band, and I said, I hope you do. You're very good. He'd already knew how to play 3 or 4 instruments. I said, then just ask one of the neighbors if they can take you. Your dad has his own schedule where he was working with the company he was working with. So there was just a big silence. We went on to have more conversation, and we talked a bit about that. It was, for me, the first lesson in what I could expect as a parent outside the home, and helping to steer him towards personal responsibility, getting to know yourself enough and being brave enough. And I'd recommended that he talk to, one of the parents. I came to find out later that he hadn't told anybody that we were divorced. Of course, I'm sure the whole neighborhood knew by then. So that was kind of the extent of anything that was going on that was going to be difficult or challenging, would be doing those things from a distance. The thing that had really impressed me was that I was getting along very well, feeling really good. And it was about 10 days or 2 weeks in when I all of a sudden was just left. There I was with just myself. I didn't have a house to set up. That was taken care of. The car had been serviced, and now I just needed to wait for. And so I was feeling a little lonely and a little, you come down off your high, right? You've started something new, kind of incredibly wonderful, and now you're not sure what, and things have gone on. You talk about synchronicities. This is one of the things you're going to look for in your own life. Where did things come together so smoothly? And when that happens, you are in alignment and in agreement with your inner compass, your inner soul. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that for today. Having second thoughts about what have I done, and coming from a place of it's all going so smoothly. Why should I be having those thoughts? But we'll pick up next time at that place. I want you to know you are really courageous and wonderful beings. You really are. Do not let fear get in your way. Explore and be curious. You don't have to go out on a limb like I do. Do you remember Mary Engelbrecht, I think was the name of this wonderful person? We've had so many great comedians and other people, but she is the one who inspired me with a little cartoon that she did with a little girl in a jumper kind of a thing, going out on a limb to pick a piece of fruit. And she said, it's okay to go out on a limb. That's where all the best fruit is. That's my parting words for you today. Go have a wonderful couple of days. This one's for Wednesday. I'll be posting another for Friday, and I will probably have some words for you on Saturday. And maybe I'll read a little bit from the book. Until then, everything you want or don't want to know about me, you can find down below. And by clicking on the description, please like, subscribe, and share. Those are the things that help get this information out to others. And I would like for the whole world to know that you are love incarnate. You are harmonious, trusting, peaceful beings that are bringing that to the earth. So until the next time, I love you. You know I love you. These arms go all the way around you. I hope you can feel that energetic hug. It's going around our planet Gaia, and I hope you're being good stewards of her too. And so until the next time, be well, be safe, be happy, and remember, you are way more than you thought you are.